Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
You know how everything's a subscription now? Music, movies, even socks. I swear if
To continue this ad, please upgrade to Premium Plus Platinum.
What? No, anyway, Blue Apron...
This is a pay-per-listen ad. Please confirm your billing.
Oh, that's annoying. At least with the new Blue Apron, there's no subscription needed. Get delicious meals delivered without the weekly plan.
Wait, no subscription?
Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods After Dark. I'm making a few changes to the feed just to make it easier for me to manage. So from now on, Obscurata will be merging with the Whispering Woods. And I want to say, don't worry if you have subscribed up here for the front. I'll carry on putting those premium episodes in the feed for the next year. But you can come over to the Whispering Woods feed and the episodes will also be on there. So nobody loses out. And the reason I'm doing it is, as I say, to make the feed easier to manage for me, because I've had terrible problems. And also to expose it where we've got a bigger audience, which is over on the Whispering Woods feed. Now, these episodes in the future for non-premium listeners will be released on a Friday and Saturday. So you'll know, if you listen with family, over the weekend it gets a bit darker and they will be clearly marked to state this as well. A lot of them will be suitable for children, but some of them won't. So I will mark them explicit when it's necessary. Also, I really wasn't comfortable with the backing track and everything. So I thought I'm going to just change it all over. And that way I'm happy, and I hope that everybody else is as well. But if you've got any comments, please email me and let me know. So for premium listeners, these episodes will still be released a week early, and we'll keep it to the same days, the Wednesday and Thursday. But it'll be the following weekend for non-subscribers. So today's episode is all about the Pope Lick Monster. Now, this is not a gruesome episode in any way. None of them are. I do try and deal with anything that is particularly upsetting. I try not to go into too much detail. But this episode does involve deaths of people who have gone to the bridge. let's get into it. Are you ready for the Whispering Woods After Dark? It's past midnight on a lonely stretch of railroad in rural Kentucky. Two figures inch their way across the old Pope-lit trestle, high above the ground. The wooden ties groan underfoot, and the night air is still, until a distant clank of steel on steel echoes. One of them freezes, heart pounding. Suddenly, a low rumble intensifies. A train's headlight flares into view on the tracks. In a panic, the man flings himself over the side of the trestle, dangling desperately from a crossbeam as the engine's roar envelopes him. His girlfriend isn't so lucky. She tries to outrun the locomotive. The last thing he sees is her silhouette illuminated in the blinding light before her body is swept away into the darkness. When the thunder of the train passes, he is left clinging to the beams in silence, alive, but forever haunted by what he's witnessed. This horrifying scene isn't a campfire story. It really happened on April the 23rd, 2016, when 26-year-old Raquel Bain, out legend tripping with her boyfriend, was struck and killed by a Norfolk Southern train on the Pope-lit Trestle Bridge. And Bain was far from the first to die, searching for what lurks there. For decades, thrill seekers have been drawn to this spot by a local legend. A legend of a monster said to live on or under the trestle. A creature that lures trespassers into the path of oncoming trains. The Pope-lit Trestle Bridge is an imposing structure, a 90-foot tall iron railroad viaduct stretching about 772 feet across Pope-lit Creek on the eastern outskirts of Louisville. Local history sources put construction in the 1920s, often cited as 1925 or since 1929. It looks like a rusting relic, isolated amid fields and woods. By day, it's actually picturesque, an intersection of industry and nature, as one photographer noted. But by night, under the moonlight and shadows, the trestle takes on a more menacing aura. Locals know that despite its antiquated appearance, this bridge is not abandoned. In fact, it's a busy Norfolk Southern Railway line, a major artery into Louisville, with heavy freight trains barreling across several times each day. There are no railings up top, no walkways, and nowhere safe to go if a train comes. From the centre of the span, it's a sheer 9-story drop to the creek bed below. An 8-foot chain-link fence and multiple danger keep off signs at the base warn would-be trespassers of the peril. Yet these warnings have not kept away those determined to test their courage, or those enticed by the tale of the thing said to haunt this bridge. According to Louisville legend, Pope-lit monster, often simply called the Goatman, lives in the woods and tunnel beneath this very trestle. Descriptions of the creature vary slightly, but all agree it's a grotesque hybrid of human and animal. In many tellings, it has the upper body of a deformed man with an alabaster pale face, wide-set eyes, and short, sharp horns jutting from his forehead. while its lower half is covered in coarse fur and ends in the legs of a goat. Other accounts swap in features of a sheep. Hence, it's sometimes dubbed the sheep man. But the monstrous visage remains equally disturbing. And whatever this being may look like, every version agrees on one point. It hates humans and seeks to do them harm. Methods attributed to the Pope Lick monster are the stuff of nightmares. Some say it has a kind of psychic allure, using hypnosis or a siren-like voice to mimic familiar sounds or even call its victims by name, tricking trespassers into stepping onto the tracks. Many a local teen has whispered that on quiet nights you might hear an eerie cry for help, or your own name carried on the wind from the trestle, as if someone you know is in danger up there. It's a trap, they warn. The Goatman is trying to draw you in. Those who venture up, the legend says, find themselves entranced in the middle of the bridge, only to snap out of it in time to see the oncoming train, or never to snap out at all. Other stories claim the monster drops down onto passing cars from the trestle, a horned figure suddenly thumping onto your roof as you drive below. Drivers have reported frightening encounters. One young couple described a man-beast leaping onto their car as they passed under the bridge late at night. It clung to the door, ripped the handle clean off before they sped away in terror. Another driver swore a creature with claws jumped onto his windshield, scratching and pounding, and he only escaped by stomping the gas, later finding long gouges in his car's paint. And if the Goatman's voice mimicry or ambush tactics fail, some say he carries a rusty, blood-stained axe to dispatch intruders the old-fashioned way. Even the mere sight of the Pope Lick monster is rumoured to be so overwhelming that people have flung themselves off the trestle in fear. The legend offers multiple origin stories, each more fantastical or gruesome than the last. One popular version states that the creature was once a human oddity, a tragic circus sideshow freak. As the story goes, a travelling circus train was passing through the Fisherville area in the 1930s when it was struck by lightning as it crossed Pope Lick Creek. The train derailed on the trestle, and amid the twisted wreckage and screaming animals, one freakish survivor emerged. This survivor was a malformed half-man, half-goat, goat boy, who had been kept caged by a cruel ringmaster. Freed by the accident, the enraged creature is said to have killed the surviving carnies in revenge and fled into the woods. Ever since, the Goatman of Pope Lick has supposedly made its home under the trestle, venturing out at night to satisfy its bloodlust. In another common telling, the monster began as something more human, an old local farmer who made a deal with the devil. As this tale has it, the farmer sacrificed goats in a satanic ritual, hoping to gain dark powers, only to be twisted into a goat-like fiend himself. Some say the Pope Lick monster is that farmer's reincarnated spirit, forever bound to the area as a vengeful beast. Yet another version points to a far more earthly sin: bestiality. Parents once muttered that the monster was born of a man's unspeakable intimacy with a goat. A cautionary and biologically dubious tale of sin begetting horror. Other origin tales don't involve the occult at all. One insists the monster was once an escaped lunatic or lab experiment, perhaps a deranged chemist whose face was badly burned in an explosion, driving him to live as a deformed hermit near the Trestle. In some stories, he's just a creepy old goat farmer who lives in a shack and likes to chase people off his land. With so many versions, it's clear that no one really knows where the Pope-Lick monster came from, or if he's ever really existed at all. But the lack of proof hasn't stopped the legend from growing. As folklorists know, an outrageous story repeated often enough can take on a life of its own, especially when it taps into primal fears. And in the Pope-Lick area, those fears have anchored themselves to the very real dangers of the Trestle. For at least 3 generations, local youths have dared one another to climb the Pope-Lick Trestle in a ritual of bravado. In the 1970s and 80s, it was almost a rite of passage for teens from nearby communities like Jeffersontown, a thrill both terrifying and romantic. On weekend nights, carloads of teens would sneak into the woods at the edge of Pope-Lick Park. Long-time residents recall mobs of kids gathering near the base of the Trestle, especially around Halloween, to tell the Goatman story. The boys would dare the girls to go out onto the heights, each trying to impress the other with how fearless or foolish they were. Most of the ones that came out were not locals. The locals knew better, laughed one Fisherville old-timer. The legend-tripping tradition grew so strong that by the late 1980s, it sparked outside attention. In 1988, a Louisville filmmaker, Ron Schleidnecht, released a short indie film titled The Legend of the Pope-Lick Monster, inspired by the stories around the Trestle. The 16-minute film dramatised the tale of a teenager who goes looking for the Goatman. Infamously, it included a scene showing a character surviving an encounter with a train by hanging off the side of the Trestle, something railroad officials immediately protested as dangerously misleading. In reality, few people could hang on for the full 5 to 7 minutes it takes a long freight train to pass, and the trestles shake so violently that even standing nearby is frightening. Norfolk Southern representatives were so alarmed that at the film's premiere, they handed out a statement warning viewers about the trestle's deadly hazards and emphasising that anyone caught on the bridge would be arrested for trespassing. By then, the hazard was not hypothetical. The real Pope-Lick monster, whether we consider that a train or the reckless impulse of youth, had already begun claiming lives. The first known fatality linked to the legend occurred in 1986, when 19-year-old David Wayne Bryant leapt from the Pope-Lick Trestle to avoid an oncoming train. Miraculously, he survived the fall but was gravely injured, and he died from those injuries in May 1987. The following winter, on February the 18th, 1988, 17-year-old Jack Charles J.C. Bond II, a college student, was struck and killed by a train while walking on the same trestle. The tragedies continued. One late night in 1992, a 19-year-old student from Ohio, home on break from Miami University, ventured onto the trestle on a dare. Around 1:45 a.m., a freight train rounded the bend, its headlights flooding the span in blinding light. Desperate, the young man clutched the edge of a railroad tie and hung off the side as the train thundered over him. A scene eerily reminiscent of the Goatman legend. When the cars had passed, rescuers found him alive but severely injured after falling nearly 100 feet into the creek valley below. In the mid-90s, another man, 35-year-old James Ratterman, attempted to ride an all-terrain vehicle across the Trestle, perhaps not even seeking the monster, but just taking a perilous shortcut. Halfway over, the ATV flipped and trapped him on the tracks. Moments later, a train bore down and struck him, killing him instantly. 6 years after that, in the summer of 2000, 19-year-old Nicholas Jewell of Mount Washington and some friends hiked up to the Trestle one night. Jewell insisted he could cross before any train came. He was about halfway when, sure enough, a freight train rounded the bend. Jewell climbed to the outer edge and gripped the metal underside of the track, hanging on for dear life. But the vibration from the massive locomotive was too much. The shaking loosened Jewell's hold, and he fell to the ground far below, losing his life in front of his horrified companions. After that string of fatal incidents, the legend tripping slowed down for a while. The warnings felt more real. Norfolk Southern and local authorities stepped up security. Police patrols increased, high fences were erected, and no trespassing signs proliferated in the area. Yet the lure of the Pope-Lick monster remained. Over the years, countless near misses occurred. The Jefferstown Fire Department has responded to many emergencies at the Trestle. In one memorable 1993 case, a teenage girl survived only because she managed to copy that movie scene and hang off the side until rescuers arrived. The fire chief who pulled her to safety recalled that it took every bit of ladder we had to reach her. She lived, something the fire chief notes is exceedingly rare. He has personally seen more than half a dozen other cases end in death or serious injury on that bridge. As he bluntly warns anyone who will listen, stay off the tracks. When you see or hear that train, it's too late. It was indeed too late for Raquel Bain in 2016. The incident described at the start of this story. Bain and her boyfriend had driven 3 hours from Ohio for a guided, haunted Louisville tour. And with time to kill before it started, they decided to seek out the Pope-Lick Trestle they'd read about online. They likely thought the track was disused. When I saw that bridge, the thing looked so rickety, I thought it was out of service, a boyfriend later admitted. Unfortunately, the Trestle was very much active. The couple ignored the posted warnings and climbed up top in hopes of glimpsing the legendary Goatman. Instead, what they got was the terrifying rumble of an approaching train on the rails. In an instant, fun turned to panic. David, who was 6'1" tall, fit martial artist, reacted on instinct. He leapt over the side and managed to catch hold of a wooden crossbeam with his hands, hanging off the outside of the trestle as the train thundered by. Raquel, a smaller woman, apparently tried to run for the end of the span. Out the corner of my eye, I saw her body go flying, David later recounted in anguish. He could do nothing but cling helplessly until the train had passed. Raquel Bain's body was found in a field next to the tracks the next morning. The tragedy made national news. The hunt for the Goatman ended in a young woman's death. Yet even that outcome did not put an end to the legend. Local teenagers continued to talk about the Goatman, and outsiders continue to be fascinated. In summer 2019, two girls, 15-year-old Savannah Bright and her friend, 16-year-old Kaylee, ventured onto the Pope Trestle, reportedly as part of a dare related to the monster lore. It was Memorial Day weekend, near dusk, when they climbed up. Whether they thought it a harmless prank or truly hoped for a supernatural encounter, we may never know. A freight train came upon them, just as it had so many others. In the frantic moments that followed, Savannah was struck by the train and killed, and her friend Kaylee was badly injured but survived by diving toward the edge of the trestle in time. The death of such a young local girl shook the community. Friends and family mourned, and some channeled their grief into pushing for new measures, more fencing, more public education, anything to prevent another needless loss on the tracks. After all, by that point, the pattern was undeniable. The Pope monster legend, in one way or another, had led multiple people to their deaths. So is there truly a paranormal Goatman stalking Pope Creek? Or are these tragedies solely the result of human curiosity and misjudgment? In the cold light of day, most agree it's the latter. The Norfolk Southern Railroad and police officials maintain that there's nothing otherworldly there, just an active train line and the all-too human tendency to underestimate danger. But spend a night out by the fenced perimeter of the trestle, and you might start to wonder. The place has an undeniably eerie atmosphere. Tall, skeletal, iron girders loom against the sky. The hollow sound of water dripping in the creek bed echoes off the stone piers. On a windless night, some visitors swear they've heard something. A faint cry, a whistle, or voices on the breeze that stop as soon as you strain to hear them. Could it be just nocturnal animals, or the distant wail of a train whistle? Possibly. But when you're alone in those woods, with the legend of the Goatman in your mind, even the ordinary can feel ominous. Local folklore certainly feeds that feeling. People still tell stories of encounters that defy easy explanation. Headlights that caught a glint of red eyes in the brush, or strange footprints in the mud under the trestle. One area resident, a museum owner who's collected Pope lore, says a terrified couple once came to him, convinced they had seen the monster. They were driving out of Pope Park at night when a figure with horns leapt out of the darkness and grabbed their car door. They floored the accelerator, and the creature ran alongside their car at speeds over 60 miles per hour, keeping pace until they finally got away. Later they discovered their door handle was missing, torn off, they believed, by the Goatman's powerful grip. Another driver claimed the beast actually landed on his vehicle from above, and he had to swerve wildly to shake it off, arriving at home to find long scratches raked across his roof and trunk. Some historians of Kentucky folklore now believe the legend was originally concocted as a pure scare tactic, a way for parents to frighten children into avoiding the dangerous trestle. You can imagine a father in the 1940s growling, "Don't you dare go near that bridge, or the Goatman will get you," if he caught his kids wandering too far. One especially intriguing theory along those lines involves a real person, Charles Chess McCartney, the famous Goatman itinerant preacher. McCartney was a genuine travelling folk figure who roamed the American South for decades, from the 1930s to the 1980s, with a wagon pulled by a team of goats. He often passed through Louisville and reportedly camped under the Pope-lit Trestle for a few days during his travels. By all accounts, McCartney was an eccentric sight, filthy, bearded, reeking of goat odour, and he drew curious crowds wherever he went. According to local law, parents in the area would use McCartney's presence to spook their kids. Goatman under the bridge will grab you if you get too close. It's easy to see how a genuine person, nicknamed Goatman, could morph into a legendary monster in the retelling. Of course, the cruel irony is that the very legend invented to keep people safe ended up drawing them into harm's way. The tale of a murderous goatman on the Trestle is so bizarre and chilling that it dares you to go see for yourself. For young people and adventurous visitors, the allure of the legend tripping can easily overpower caution. Today, despite the tragedies, people still sneak past the fences at Pope-lit. They climb up in the dead of night, hearts pounding, with a mix of excitement and fear, telling themselves they'll just take a quick look. Maybe they're hoping to catch a glimpse of glowing eyes in the darkness, or to hear that phantom voice. Maybe it's just about proving they can do it and live to tell the tale. Some in the community have brainstormed creative solutions, building a pedestrian footbridge or platform near the Trestle to give curiosity seekers a safe vantage point, or even erecting a Goatman statue in the park as a tourist attraction, a controlled way to satisfy the legend's pull. Others argue that any such measures would only further enshrine the myth. For now, officials continue to rely on fences, citations, and pleas for common sense. But as the history shows, the power of curiosity is itself a mysterious force, one not easily fenced out.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I don't know about you guys, but I really think they need to put some safety stuff around the trellis. If you take a look, it is just like the single track. And people aren't going to stop doing it, especially when they have like this festival for the Pope-lit monster. So it's kind of, okay, yep, the town needs to make money, but this is going to happen. And I really think there needs to be some safety stuff around. Because people are curious. Teenagers are teenagers. And I don't know if it's about money. It wouldn't surprise me. But put some safety features on there. Let people do it safely. Let them go look for the Pope-lit monster, but safely. And just a little reminder, because I'm not sure if I explained this properly, but these episodes will be going in the main Whispering Woods feed on Saturdays and Sundays for the adults. I'll keep doing it to the Obscurata feed, for the meantime. But if they suddenly disappear, I will try and do it for the year, but we'll see how I manage it, because it is a lot of extra work. If you subscribe in Apple Podcasts, just take a look. If they're not there, just take a look over on the Whispering Woods and you'll see the episodes there if they're not in the feed. But that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.